first, thanks again to Reverend Sarah. Fairbanks, our last year game, treasure her. Thank you so much for that. The internet thing is not isolated to Fairbanks. There are pockets all over the state. It's everywhere. There are places where it's great, places where it ain't. 3, in 50 years, what I want to see is, well, in our community in Juneau, a thriving multicultural fellowship, youth, children, young families. That would be wonderful. And it seems like in between now, in the next 50 years, we could do a lot of, like Fairbanks had the idea of like a whale coast for youth kind of thing, which would be awesome. What about our coming of age in Alaska? I mean, that's coming of age. Go up the mountain somewhere and do your class. I don't know. Anyway, but connections with our youth, an Alaska Con, even if we did it once every few years, would be amazing. Thank you.
We have been given the hook, so we're going to have to cut it. I was just told by the minister that they need to get set up for the worship service. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and make your closing remarks and everything. So.
Okay, oh, this is on, that's great. I just wanted to respond to you, Kathy, that I'm really committed for this district to help particularly the congregations outside of Anchorage, although Anchorage too, to have access to ministers, because you all up here are not just isolated, you are uniquely isolated. It's not like Klamath Falls, Oregon, for example, where you cannot actually get there by car. It just takes a while. You guys are really isolated, and you don't have, because of your numbers too, tiny congregations have a different kind of isolation as well. So that's why we set up the Alaska Consulting Travel Fund, for example, so that the district can help pay for people to come up. We'll still ask for some cost sharing with you, because we don't want that fund to go away overnight. But we can pay for travel, for example, or help pay for travel, and help find the right ministers to come up and be with you. And that fund was instrumental in allowing us to develop the developmental ministry program that has helped Juneau and is still helping Fairbanks experience what professional ministry on site is like, having your own minister. So please let me know of your interest. For sure, Kodiak's overdue. And I'll make sure that we get somebody up to at least once or twice this year. And that was what I would love to have a commitment for each of your congregations in Alaska, is to make sure you get at least one visit. And not just for a Sunday service, but to stay with you for a few days, maybe to do a little workshop or whatever you need every year, at least one, okay? So just be in touch with me and let's make sure that happens for you so that you've got at least some connection. I wish we had more resources so that we could do that more, and we keep that Alaska Travel Fund open so that people do contribute to it. We had a child slider call to it, for example, last year that generated, gosh, I think about $15,000 in there. So I'm happy for that. I'm really happy. The other thing I wanted to speak to just very briefly is the question of campus ministry. You know, that's a challenge for Unitarians all around the country. It's not just for you all in Alaska. It's because when you get right down to it, we are a small group of people. And because we don't, for example, tithe, we don't have the resources that other denominations do. And if we had more unlimited funding, we could have really thriving campus ministry programs. As it happens, we struggle with it. We struggle with it. And here in this district, I don't have a program that's like, okay, we know how to do this, and here's how. We'll tell you and give you resources for it. But it is something that after this, you noticed that our Western District staffs were all up here for this district assembly, and after assembly closes today, we're actually going to be retreating up here in Alaska for the next 3 days. And one of the questions that we will be talking about is campus ministry, not just for you all, but for all of our congregations, how we can support that better here, because it's critical. It's a different kind of ministry and not something that we can just like do. It needs to be thoughtful, and we need to figure out how to do it and support all of us.
I want to apologize to the people that got left in the queue. I know there were a few people that wanted to speak, but I wanted to thank the district for offering this opportunity to express all Alaskans' concerns about how we connect with you guys. So thank you guys very much.
I'd like to thank Jenny Porter for being willing to join us. You know how much she has on her plate. And to your trustee, Elizabeth Green, who I always make sure has a lot on her plate. And I really want to thank you for being so willing to come and talk to us and be so open